A big hello and a very warm welcome to Talent Connect. I'm your host, DJ Swing. I hope you people are doing well. I hope you people are safe. I hope you people are chilled out. Don't worry, everything is going to be all right very, very soon. Okay. Like I always say, I'm very proud to present various talents from India and overseas through my show, Talent Connect. It's going to be one more rocking episode. So let's connect right here, right now. Before I move on and call up tonight's extremely talented guest, let me give you a small intro about her. She's a mother of electronic music. She's a music producer. She's a music journalist. She has been performing all over India and across the world. The list is endless, you know. So without any further delay, let me call the queen of electronic dance music, Ma Faiza. Come on in. All right, guys, there she is, Ma Faiza. Thank you, Ma Faiza, so much for taking out your precious time and coming on Talent Connect. It's such an honor to have you on my show. And before we move further, I would like to wish you belated wishes for your 50th birthday. How was it? Tell me a little bit about it.
It was actually an amazing day. I can't believe I've reached 50. Quite shocking in itself. You know, you wake up one morning and suddenly you're 50. But I was just overwhelmed with the amount of love and showering of blessings and good fortune and incredible messages from every format imaginable and from all over the world. So I was very, very overwhelmed, and I still feel quite overwhelmed. I feel blessed, actually, and I graciously accepted all those wishes, but I have to say many times I just don't feel so worthy of so much love from so many people. But it was an incredible day, and I'm glad it's over. The milestone has been reached, you know? Yeah,
So
so
usually,
it was incredible.
So usually your birthday, always you plan a tour and you go to
Yeah.
different city and you perform, and it's amazing celebration wherever you go. So this time it's a little on a down key. So what do you feel?
Well, I was a bit sad because it was such a milestone for me to reach. I can't
Yes.
believe that I've even hit that age, and it's come way too quick. And I had so many plans. I mean, I can't tell you what I had planned, but yeah, you have to go with what's happening in the world. And I actually felt quite guilty for even thinking about celebrating while we're in this
Yes.
situation, you know. I actually felt like yeah, some part of my heart is carrying the heaviness of what's happening in the world. Like, I know everybody is affected very deeply by what's been going on. So yeah, I did the best I could do, but it was very unusual. The last 10 years I've celebrated with hundreds, if not thousands of people, sharing my vibe and feeling very positive and very young and alive. So it was very different, but I do have to say it was a very magical day. And I'm very, very grateful that I was able to still share via doing a live session, and people really tuned in and shared my day with me. So I was very grateful for technology on that day.
That's really amazing. So before we move further on, see, everybody knows Mafaiza is a rock star, and they get to see you on your shows, and you're rocking the show and things like that. but nobody knows behind what kind of an effort you put to be up there. So we're going to start from the scratch. All right. We want to
Okay.
know every bit about you, how you started, how you come up till here. All right. So my first question is, in which country you're born and brought up?
Well, I was born in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam,
Oh,
and I moved to London when I was 11 months old. So I
oh,
grew up in the UK, and I came to India for the first time when I was 23. And I've been in India 27 years. So for me,
oh.
even though my parents are Indian, they were also born in Africa. So my main experience, my childhood, my formative years were in the UK, and I was very influenced by UK culture and music. And of
That's
course, I had a lot more accessibility to music at that time, than maybe if I'd have been in India at that time. And that had a huge influence, I think, on my music style and what I choose to play and what inspires me. Just because I've had access to whatever I wanted, because I was in a country where it was just much easier to go out and buy a record, like,
yes, yes, yes.
yeah.
So can you tell us a bit about your childhood and your teenage life?
Um, well, my childhood, I was, I think, quite a square child. Um, yeah, I was very shy in a lot of ways, I think, and I've always been a very happy child, but yeah, quite a shy child. And I think for me, nobody would have even imagined, anyone that I went to school with, I don't think would ever imagine that I would be a DJ or be who I am now, you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, it's been quite a big journey from when I think about my childhood and where I've grown and evolved into who I am today. Um, but I didn't have any dreams of performing, or I had no idea what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a mathematician.
Oh, totally
But
opposite.
there's a great connect between maths and music,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah. Very much.
Um, so I think I've just translated it in another way. But I was fascinated with mathematics. So I didn't grow up to be what I imagined I was going to be, which is why I think I'm so grateful for every blessing, every performance, everybody who bestows any gratitude for who I am. I'm really grateful because I never dreamed, or I never hoped, I never had a plan to do what I'm doing. I mean, did you have a plan to be a DJ when you were growing up?
Not exactly. But yeah, because I was in the musical family, so that's how I got into it.
Actually, see, I don't come from a musical family, so
Yeah, yeah,
my
yeah.
father's a lawyer. So
All right.
yeah, I was always pushed. I play a lot of musical instruments.
Oh,
Um,
that's nice.
yeah, I studied music, so I used to play the tuba in the orchestra.
Oh, that's great. So, so many things we are getting to know which we didn't know about it. That's
I'm going to give you all my secrets, Swing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, how did your musical journey start?
I was really influenced by pop music in the 80s. And I have always bought a lot of records and bought a lot of music. Most of my pocket money went on music. And for me, I guess my musical journey is when I came to India, I took the best music that I had on CD, and I made some incredible tapes for myself for 6 months traveling around India. And whenever I played those tapes on my Walkman, and maybe there were some people that I'd met and they listened to it, they were like, wow, this music's incredible. So I went back to England, and when I came back the next time, I decided to sell some of that music on the beach in Goa. So I
Wow,
made these
that's nice.
tapes, which didn't have a track list, but they were all compilations by myself. And I just put the name Faiza, and they were very neon colors, psychedelic colors.
Yes.
and I was just selling them on the beach. And I have to say, my journey started from there. A lot of people bought those tapes, and then as technology changed, I put the music on CDs and I put the music on mini disc. And then as the demand rose, I put all the music in different cafes and shops and boutiques all around India, from being in Manali or in Goa or in Pune or in Bombay. And people just really enjoyed my storytelling with the music. And then as things progressed, a couple of friends asked me to play at their house party. So, of course, for no money. And I just carry all my music and DJ, or if you could call it DJing then, but I would play some music. And then people would buy my tapes at the end because they were like, wow, I really love the music. So I would still be have an income from somehow performing. And it just started from there. I mean, there weren't any clubs in India. I mean, we're talking,
Yeah.
2.5 decades ago, maximum there'd be like one club in a five-star hotel, and that would be it.
Yeah.
So it was a very different time, and I don't think
Yes.
you could become a DJ now doing what I did.
Yes.
People would
Yes.
have to
Yes.
do something very different. you know
Now
there
there's
was
so
no
much
competition.
technology to reach out.
Yeah, and there were definitely not many women doing what I was doing. I was
Yes.
competing with a lot of men. I didn't see any women doing what I was doing. So
Yeah.
it was a very different time, but I think that gave me the tools to be able to be where I am now.
That's really amazing. So, how did you identify that you want to become a DJ?
I didn't really. People used to say, "Oh, you're that DJ," and I'd be like, "Oh, no, 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 I'm not a DJ. I'm just somebody who puts music together, and I'm playing the music so I can sell you the music." That's how anyone
All
who
right.
called me a DJ, I'd be like, "No, no, 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 I'm not a DJ," because I've never learned anything. No one's ever shown me anything on how to do anything. It's all
Then
things.
how did you learn? I mean, you're something else when you're on the console. How did that happen? How did you learn DJing?
Well, you know what? I have no idea. I mean, I've got a good brain. I do like technology, and I just learned by doing it myself. And I'll be completely honest with you, I never practice. I don't. Up until a month ago, I don't have the equipment at home, so I can't even practice. I don't have any turntables. I don't have anything. So the only time I've ever played is when I'm performing.
All right.
So I've only learned while I'm performing. Like I don't have the equipment. I've never gone to a club in the afternoon and said, "Oh, can I just practice for a little bit?" I've never done that. So, I don't know. When people ask me how I do it, I'm
Yeah,
really present.
you're a pro. So-
Yeah, but fake it till you make it. So for me, I think I've just always had the confidence to say, I believe I can do anything.
yeah.
So I believe we all can, if we have the tools to have that real confidence, and that we've done a lot of things in our life, and you have a lot of experience in many things that you can bring to anything, then I think you can do anything. So
Yeah.
I think the magic is I am fully present. And when you're fully present, magic can happen. And
Perfect.
I think it's more than me. It's more the totality of the energy of everybody, and somehow something much bigger than me, and people and the club. And I think it's like the universe. I tap into this universal energy which is there, and something magical happens. And many times I record every set so I get to hear what I did, because I'm so present. I'm not very conscious of what I'm doing in another way with my mind. I'm present in another way. And when I listen to it, only then I can understand what I did. Otherwise, when I'm doing it, I have no idea. I push a lot of buttons. I know what some things do. I take a lot of risks. I'm in the music, I am in it. I'm fully present every second. I am present. And when I'm not,
Yeah.
the gigs are definitely not as good. So let's say I'm not feeling so well. Let's say I'm feeling emotionally not so happy. Maybe I have something on my mind. I need to be able to take that away. And if I can't, then my gig definitely is a little bit dampened, because I'm not fully present. If I can make myself fully present to anything, I know that the universe will give me what I need. I really believe that.
Very well said. Ma, what's your real name? What's the story
So my real name
behind
is
the
Faiza. That's my birth
Faiza?
name. Yeah,
Okay.
so Ma Faiza. I just put the Ma in front, but that's
All
actually
right.
my name. I didn't
But
change it. I'm guessing your name is not Swing.
yes, my that's my stage
I'm
name.
guessing. I'm
My
guessing
real
it might
name
have
is
the
Sunil
same
Davis.
letter. What's your real name?
Sunil Davis.
See, so you use the same letter. That happens
Yeah.
many times. I would imagine your name would begin with an S. But my name's Faiza, so I didn't change much. I just put the Ma in front and left it
So
at that.
the Ma has become really big. You know, everybody
Yeah,
calls you Ma.
yeah.
So that's
I
a
mean,
very big name.
but it was very unconscious. You know, I was in the ashram in Pune at Osho Ashram, and I wanted them to put Miss on my ID card to go into the
Mhm.
ashram. And they said in the ashram, look, we don't really do that. And they asked me why. And I said, well, I get quite frustrated because people will see me as a man quite often, and they want to have some ID that shows that I'm a woman. Well, you know, I don't want to have any problems going to the toilet or whatever. And they said, you know what? We'll put Ma in front of your name. I was like, okay.
Wow.
So then I started DJing. My first DJing was in the ashram, in the Osho ashram. So I kept the name, Ma Faiza.
So that's a
It wasn't
very
a big plan. There wasn't a big plan.
that's a very big news for all the viewers who's watching you right now. So they got to know why Ma.
Yeah, why
That's
Ma? Yeah,
amazing.
indeed. But you know, I never realized the power of the association of the mother
Yes, yes, yes.
until maybe 10 years ago, because
Mm,
actually people enjoy to when they say Ma, they say it
mm.
with such
Yes, yes.
such sincerity and with so much love and respect, as if I
Correct.
was their mother, because the
Yeah.
only person you ever say Ma to is usually your mother. There isn't another Ma.
Hmm.
So I didn't really realize that, and it was in no way deliberate. You couldn't even plan that, but I only know that now, you know. So many times I think people bestow so much love and respect to me because of the word Ma that already conjures up a feeling of love, you know.
And you're named as mother of electronic music, so that mother, so it's the same again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's definitely reinforcing it, you know. And at some point, I'm sure I'll go from being mother to grandmother as the age passes, you know. I'll be known as the grandmother of electronic music, which will be even more scary.
So from how many years you've been spinning the wheel?
Um, you know what? Since 1998, we're 22 years in. First gig, first
Wow.
paid gig, 1998.
And
I
how
mean,
much did you
it's
charge?
sorry. How much did I charge?
Yeah.
Oh God, that's funny. I think I got 2,000 rupees,
Wow. Okay.
which in those days
It's big
wasn't
money.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got 2,000 rupees. And the guy who booked me was Abhi Diol.
Abhay Deol, the actor.
Yes, yes. He was
Oh,
at acting school and he was in Pune. And him and his girlfriend at the time booked me to do a party. And
oh,
at that
that's nice.
party, after doing that party, I got kicked out of the ashram. And I have never been allowed back in.
All right. So your first performance, were you nervous?
I would say the first 10 years I was nervous. I find it actually quite, you know, one on one without a microphone and speaking to somebody, I can be really relaxed and be myself. But in front of the camera, it's something I've really had to grow into. I wouldn't say I'm a natural performer. And I definitely needed to tap into my own kind of confidence to be able to go on the stage. But I would say for the first 10 years, I wouldn't sleep before a gig. I would be so nervous. I would be so worried. I'd be so worried because I guess I didn't really believe that I was a DJ. and it was really hard for me. I see young kids who get up there and perform, and it takes my breath away, because that's so not who my own experience. It's been really difficult to own what I do and who I am on the stage, because it wasn't something that I ever thought I would do. Or, like you meet people who actually, that they're really comfortable in front of the camera. And in fact, they love the camera. That's so far away from who I am,
Yes.
that, it's been a real journey. I can see that not only has it given me many gifts in terms of my career and a job and an income, but it's really helped me to evolve as a person and to become even more confident in who I am, which was definitely needed. And it somehow forced me to become larger than myself, and I'm already quite large. But it was never a desire. Like, if I don't DJ, I'm absolutely fine. And if I'm not in the public eye, I'm absolutely fine. I'm really content in the person that I am. So it's been really hard to own it. And I would say in the last decade, I have really enjoyed it. But the first decade, oh my God, I was so nervous. Every single gig, I was like, oh my God, am I going to be able to do what they want me to do? I don't really know what I'm doing on the mixer. Am I really a DJ? I just questioned everything. And then looking at people when they're looking at you, it's very intense when all these eyes are on you,
Correct. Yes.
And you have to grow into it. And I see some people, they're so confident. They can, and they're amazing. And I just stand there with a microphone and I'm just like, oh my God. It's still difficult for me. And I really have to go into a deep space in myself to be able to let myself go and be free enough to still be real, and not be too controlled in my own head by my own fears.
Ma, what all music genres you play, and you also jam with various artists in your live sets. Can you tell us a little more about it?
Um, I would say I play electronic music, but very not commercial. I come from psychedelic trance and ambient music. I started DJing with ambient music. It was the only way to get my foot in the door at all the festivals. And I was really, really good at putting together ambient sets that were so dreamy and emotional and touching. And
Yes, I'm a big fan of your compilations.
well, thank you. That really touches me, because you know what? When you listen to music when you're not in a club,
Yeah.
that's the music that really has an impact on your life. That music becomes like your friend. There's a dialogue between you and the music that you listen to. So I used to say to people, I'm very happy not to be a dance floor DJ, because actually the music that's so emotional, that can really give you the space to process and maybe redefine who you are, or integrate some of the knowledge that comes with the feelings of really strong, powerful music that you listen to when you wake up, or before going to bed, or sitting with friends, or cooking, or traveling, or whatever, but not necessarily dance floor. I found that to be a more powerful expression, at that time. So, I mean, I listen to everything on a personal level. I'm so open to music, and I would like to say that I'm open to every genre. I mean, I went to a club once. I went to Blue Frog about a decade ago, and they were playing. It was a hard metal night. And I went on a date with somebody, and I would not suggest going on a date to a metal night. But I had the most incredible time, and I really enjoyed the music, even though I would never listen to metal, because I saw a performance which was so interactive and so sincere, and each musician was awesome. So I think good music can be in any genre. What I actually play, and that moves me to dance, is the music that I play. I don't play that for anybody other than myself. And I'm not into commercial music, because I don't really listen to a lot of commercial music, but I'm influenced by classical music, Western classical. I'm influenced by 80s pop.
That's very nice.
you know, I'd like to say there's no genre in my personal listening list. You can have, I just need the right music for the right time at the right volume, you
Perfect,
know.
perfect. Everybody
And
knows.
sorry, I wanted to, so I also wanted to add that I've had the great pleasure to perform with many live musicians, because I personally think many times electronic music is so binary.
Yeah,
You know, everything is correct because a computer did it. So,
correct.
you know, everything is on the one, and everything is, you know, everything is 16 bars and then 32 bars. It's very robotic. So I
Yeah,
feel that when you bring in real live instruments who are performing with you, each live instrument, each musician has their own expression, and they can redefine what is 1, 2, 3, 4, and they can bring in a whole nother personality, which is so soulful,
yes,
because it's not binary, it is not computerized, it is real, and we feel it in a whole nother way. We translate it. Even if it's a recorded flute, it has been programmed and fitted perfectly. Real
correct.
life is not perfect. You need to hear the nuances, those mistakes. Like, you go to a concert, you know that they're going to be off key. Maybe after an hour, there might be just one note they sing off key, or there might be
Yeah,
something, but you could listen to the album that you have at home. But you know what? It's a little bit soulless in its perfection.
yes,
Life is not perfect. We are so far from perfect, and we are
yeah,
imperfect, which makes us human.
yes. Very well
So
said.
I try to bring in as many different musicians with as many different influences and different styles, so that they can bring it back to a more human kind of emotional connect. And also, it's very inspiring. You know, musicians, they, to become a good musician, you need to practice every day of your
Yeah,
life.
yes, yes. Very true.
Okay, and as DJs, I've just told you that I never practice. I don't have the equipment at home. I go there and I hope God helps me, and so far God has been on my side. A musician can't do that. So I have the utmost respect for any musician, the dedication, the
Mm.
tenacity, and the 100% dedication to their instrument. And you only become a good musician by practicing. You don't necessarily become a good DJ by practicing. And most DJs, they don't even know what it is to give your life to an instrument.
Yes, yes. Very
So I
true.
try to include them because I feel so in awe of their dedication to their instruments and to music, you know, and it's something that I haven't done, and I respect it so much that I feel privileged to involve them in my performance, you know.
That's really great. That's really great. Everybody knows that you're a DJ and music producer, but not many people know that you're also a music journalist. So can you tell a bit about it?
Wow, you really researched me, Swing. Shocking. You've
Yeah.
really gone into my dark cupboards and taken out my secrets. Yeah, I was a music editor for Rave magazine. They
Great.
didn't have an electronic music section, so I went to the owner of the magazine and said, "Listen, you need to have an electronic music section." And he said, "Well, okay, who's going to write it?" He said, "You do it." And I was like, "Well, okay." So I became an editor there, and then I also had my own column on Rolling Stone magazine when that started. And I've always enjoyed writing, and it was really good to be able to write my own articles as someone to write an article, but also to actually invite other people to write content as an editor and bring that
Yeah.
together and be part of a magazine. Like, sometimes I had 25 pages in the magazine that I was responsible for. So it was a lot of learning, and I really enjoyed it, you know, being able to write about people that really moved me, write about equipment that I thought was amazing, write about up and coming music that I thought was incredible, and to involve people that I thought were really talented to either have pictures or to write other articles that were maybe beyond what I could do. So it was a beautiful way to bring everything together, and I definitely felt like I learned a lot from that experience. You know, I think in life, if you can experience as much as you can in as many different things, you can always bring it back to whatever you want to bring it to. You know, like,
Yeah.
I feel like I bring my DJing and my mixing in my kitchen when I'm cooking. You know, I'm very spontaneous. I don't follow recipes. I don't really know what I'm doing. I trust my senses. I try to decorate things. And I feel like I bring that in every aspect of my life. So if you can experience many things, it gives you so many more tools in your box to be able to bring to anything that you do.
That's really amazing. So Mahfiza is a DJ, she's a producer, she's a journalist, she's a musician. I mean, you're
I,
s-
I wear a lot of hats. I don't want to be defined by what I've previously done before. So I believe you're limited by your own imagination, and you're also limited by your own experiences and your own fears. So I try to, you know, push beyond that. Every time I've pushed through my fears, something has changed. So for me, I think I could do anything. You know, I'm a great cook. I love cooking, and
wow.
I,
Even
I,
I
I
love
try to
cooking.
put my hand to everything. I want to experience everything, and
That's really nice.
then maybe I know myself even more. You know, and then I have more to give to the universe in terms of,
That's
yeah,
really
I
nice.
just have more tools. You know.
You've been voted as India's favorite electronica DJ, and you have performed in some of the biggest festival across the world. Can you tell us your experiences?
Well, there's been some very mad experiences in all of that. I was blown away to be voted, yeah, in India's #1 electronica DJ by my Fave DJ Awards quite a few moons ago. But yeah, that definitely gave me a lot more confidence in what I was doing. Playing at all those festivals has been many times a very surreal experience. You know, I think I've been very blessed to be able to be there, and I would say that it's been quite a life-changing experience to be able to perform in front of 50,000 people or 80,000 people, or I don't know, a sea, an ocean of people. You know, I mean, and I need to overcome my own fears of going on a stage, and then when I'm on the stage to really truly embody what I'm feeling and not be scared to express myself, whatever comes. You know. Yeah, I feel very blessed. You know, like it's many different emotions. Even before those gigs, I don't sleep and I'm horribly nervous. I would say now I don't have any nerves going up in front of the stage, and I don't have to worry about the time before the gig, and I'm so much more relaxed. But it's
Yeah.
taken me a couple of decades to get there.
You've been traveling and performing in different countries. Do you play according to the country, or you have a certain style that you play everywhere?
That's a very good question. I ask myself the same question because I'm many times concerned. Let's say, for example, I opened Antares Festival last year, and you know, when you're in India for a whole year and then you go away in the summer, um, which is my experience, and this was the first gig that I was playing in Europe that year, you know, I question in my own mind, is the music I'm playing current? I don't really know. Or am I playing tracks that everyone's already played? Or I ask those, you know, am I now going to change what I'm playing? But what I do is I try to put together loads of tracks in a folder when I'm in the country, and I'm there present, and I'm breathing that air, I'm drinking that water, and I'm already feeling my own vibration in that place. And then
Right.
I try not to get too mindy, which is, you know, is this current? Is this relevant? Am I, you know, if I'm sitting in India, do I really know what I'm doing here? And I try to ignore that and just go with my feeling, you know. And what I've realized is it's not about new, it's not about the latest, it's about the story that you tell
Yes, very true. Very true.
and how present you can be and
Yeah,
what emotions you can invoke in people, you know.
that's
It isn't
well said.
anything more than that, you know. Many people would be happy to hear the same track that they love 5 times in one night, doesn't matter what
Yeah.
genre, because you love that track. So,
Mhm.
you know, it's about how you connect people back to an
Yes.
emotion via the music. So actually new, old, current, relevant, it all doesn't matter. It's
It's all
about
about the
how
way you
present,
present in your style.
yeah, yeah, and how much you embody it. Because
Yeah,
if you're faking it and it's not really
yeah,
your music, it's not really you, people
yeah,
are going to feel that, because
correct.
music is such an incredible language and it's so
Yeah,
universal. You know, it goes beyond verbal language, you know, and it's ageless, and it's genderless, and some music is so timeless
yeah.
because of its beauty, you know. So good music will always stand the test of time. But I definitely do get those thoughts. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to Japan now. Like, what did the Japanese listen to? Like, but those
Yeah,
are thoughts. And, you know, with the experience that I now have, I know that all I have to do is have those thoughts, maybe watch them, let them go, and then come back to my center, who I am, my energy, and just express that. You know, getting in here does not help. It doesn't help me anyway. I don't think it helps anybody. If you come from your heart and you come from sincerity and you come from a really deep, sincere place in yourself and a connection to the music that you're playing, I think those are the most important things.
was there any moment that a certain country didn't get along with your music or they didn't understand? Did anything happen that way?
I would say India in the beginning.
Seriously? All right.
Yeah, I've been booed off
You're a
stages.
star in India now.
No, but I can tell you the first few gigs, I remember doing a party in 1999,
Oh,
Christmas party, and 2,000 people booed me off the stage.
oh,
Yeah, they
seriously?
just were not ready to hear what I wanted to play. Booed.
Oh,
People came to grab me off the stage. In the end, security
man.
had to come and I had to be removed from the stage. And then another DJ had to come on because it's I think it was even New Year's, it wasn't Christmas. So you don't
Yeah,
want to fuck with people on New Year's. You really don't
correct.
want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter what you do, play with whatever, but you need to make sure people are happy. After I'd only played 2 tracks. I can even tell you the track that was playing before was Barbie Girl, a hideous, monstrous track of hellish, a
Yeah.
criminal offense to humanity, that track. And then I started playing music, and within 2 tracks, everyone stopped dancing. People came to lynch me off of the DJ booth. I had to be removed. A crowd was booing, not one person dancing. And it was an epic fail, of which I did get paid 5,000 rupees, I remember to this day. And yeah, it's been the only time, the only country in the world where I've ever had a bad experience has actually been in India, which is fine because, you know, I guess I've always been ahead of my time. And that showed me I was still ahead of my time then. You know,
Yeah.
people weren't ready. They had no connection to what I was playing. I'd already been playing at festivals all over Europe, and it was just, you know, to bring it to India, I thought would have a resonance, but people still needed time to be able to, the gap between what they'd already heard and what they knew and what I had already experienced was so big that they needed that time to catch up. And right now, I would say in India, it is so current and cutting edge that we've definitely, that gap has gone. You know, I feel like you can play anything in India right now and there is a scene for it, be it dubstep or glitch or whatever you want to play, you know, there is a scene for that. Whereas 25 years ago, you and I know that there was just commercial music or
Yeah.
the music that your auntie brought you from America,
Yeah.
and that was it. There was no even internet. So, you know, we've definitely, I feel like India has has such a big gap in what people had ever heard before and their experiences with the music to now, and in a very short space of time, we've definitely caught up. And I find it a remarkable story that the country that I'm the most famous in and I'm so revered is also the country that's booed me off. You know, and I also had quite a shocking experience last year which actually traumatized me because I've never been booed off a stage after that, since that. But I played
Oh,
in
wow.
Jaipur at a club, and the DJ before me was playing Bollywood music, of which usually we have very specific requirements that no Bollywood music is played before I play, because
Yes,
I know once Bollywood music's played, you are
yes,
fucked.
yes,
You can't play anything else.
correct, correct.
So I know that already, and you know, it's something I know is really important. But they were playing commercial music and Bollywood music. So as soon as I went on, I was booed off again in 3 tracks. Everybody was just shouting Bollywood, 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 Bollywood. And you know what? I got off the stage and I cried. I was actually so traumatized by that experience because I was in the wrong club to the wrong crowd. And the DJ had completely, if that DJ had not played any Bollywood, I could have survived, because I go to many places where they only listen to Bollywood. But you know, I can find my way, and I think you play great music and you carry your energy and you can infect everybody. But that killed me. And it was on one of my birthday tours. It was either
Oh
last year or
shit.
the year before. Oh yeah. And to cry
Yeah.
at one of those, I was like, so you know, it's all good, because it reminds you of how fragile that moment is, and to be grateful for all the magic that does happen, and to realize that we're human and that you're not a star. You know, you can't always make it happen, and I'm not a
Yes,
wizard. I'm
yes,
not, I can't just conjure a good night. It has
yeah,
to be a vibration that is for everybody. I can't just go and bang my music and expect everybody to dance. No, it's a seduction, you know?
yeah,
So it's really like brings you back down to the essence. And, you know, it took me a few days to kind of recover. I think I had a gig the next day. I was so terrified. I said to Kamlesh, I was like, oh my God, Kamlesh, you know, even I think he cried too, because it's the first time that's ever happened in a very, very, very long time. And I'm sure, as you know, have you ever been booed off a stage?
uh, I mean, I play various genres of music, so
No, but
I mix
booed
match.
off a stage, forced to
Yeah,
leave the
yeah,
stage.
yeah. For some tracks, if they don't like what I'm playing, and that particular track they say boo, then I have to change my style and mix match and get onto the thing. But
Yeah, but
uh,
so that makes you very resilient, and
yes,
that
yes,
gives you a lot more tools to be able
yes,
to please the crowd. Whereas for
yeah,
me, you know, it's been my
yeah,
mission, not
yeah,
been about pleasing the crowd. You know,
yeah,
yes, there's a part of it where I know I'm performing to a crowd and it's our total vibration, but I
yeah,
always try to seduce them with what I'm playing. And I don't have any music that's commercial that can satisfy them. So, you know, it's really a powerful experience to be booed off, and you have to pick yourself up and dust yourself
yeah,
down and realize that you're human, and wrong place, wrong time, and you've got to go out there the next day and do it all again. Fingers
yeah.
crossed.
But I don't think there's any DJ who's not got booed off. So everybody gets, booed off at some point somewhere, because they're traveling, they're meeting different crowd. Every time it's a different stage. You can't expect everybody to accept whatever we're trying to do. So take some time, but adds off to you that from that point, the point where you are now, everybody worships your music, and it's really amazing.
Yeah, but I think it's just, you know, I think as time passes as well. I mean, I say this to
Yes.
young DJs when I'm doing any kind of mentoring for anybody. I always say that, you know, if you can just stay in your truth and be sensitive enough to realize that there's more than your truth, and if you can come with you just with your truth in not an egotistical way, but really just saying, hey guys, this is what I've
Yeah.
got, this is what I'm sharing, I hope you can love it, rather than you're going to listen to what I'm going to play, and this is what I fucking play, and you're going to fucking enjoy it. You know, you come with your ego. I think there's even more chances that, you know, you're not coming in the right space to actually give people an experience. You're rather overpowering people. So I think it's all humbling, and I think it's really, really important to remember that each gig, like a ballet performer, like a ballet performance,
Yeah.
each gig you risk your entire life's work and reputation
Yeah.
on the next one, you know, because you never really know what's going to happen.
Actually, that's a
you know.
very great message for all the upcoming DJs, because they need to know about all these things so they can present themselves better and take the thing in a right way. So that's very nice.
Yeah, I think to admit that you're human, you can make mistakes, things
Yes.
don't go very well, but it's how you process that and how you integrate that back that can make you maybe a better person or a better performer or a better whatever. But you have to be
Mm.
at least open to that and realize that, I say to many people who are just beginning whatever they're choosing to begin, musicians, artists, performers, DJs, that it's a beautiful journey, and the joy has to be the remaining um, in your essence of who you are, and not believing that you are something special, because we are all human.
Yeah.
I'm no better than the next person. I've just had some choices and opportunities, and I've
Yeah.
just been around for a very long time, which has given me a lot more experience to be able to deal with things. And also, the longer you're there, then somehow you carry a name, and there's familiarity, and there's a
Yeah.
connection to many people. So I always say to people, it is only a matter of time. Even when I talk to people about coming out about their sexuality with their parents, and maybe their parents not speaking to them, it's only a matter of time if you stay in your
Yeah.
truth. Maybe it takes 10 years, maybe it takes 20, maybe it takes a lifetime, but at some point it will be okay,
Yeah.
you know?
Very well said. Very well said.
Yeah.
Ma, you got your own unique style of dressing. Sometimes you dress up like a cowboy. Sometimes you dress up like a
Yeah.
jungle queen. What's the jazz? What's
Well,
the jazz?
what I realized to me is when you look at a DJ, when you go to a club, automatically everything is focused on the DJ. Yeah, they're like the new superheroes.
Mm.
Um, and I think it needs to be more playful. So I have great joy inventing new things that I can embody, or I look at what's happening in the culture. Maybe there's a film that's really moved me, and maybe I could look like the Joker on the stage, or so I have.
Wow.
There's some limits, because I sweat like a pig and I can't wear makeup, because otherwise I'm eating my makeup or it's all smeared across my face. So
Mm.
we have some limits, but I try to give different looks which are culturally relevant, and I really enjoy design, and I enjoy clothing, and so I just express myself, in different ways, and it's allowed me a lot of freedom to maybe wear clothes that I would never have thought to wear, but because I'm performing, it's given me a chance to step outside my own limitations, and I've just run with it. So yeah, I mean, I really enjoy it. But once again, because I'm performing and I sweat a
Yeah.
lot. I don't know that anyone sweats. I sweat from my eyelashes. I feel like yeah, even if I'm wearing underwear or socks, they are fully wet. Like I'm sweat so much. So there's a limit to what I can do in terms of my clothing.
Mm.
I try to wear tiaras, and I have top hats, and I love it, but I can't DJ with them on.
Yeah.
I have these incredible things I have made, but there's a
Mm.
limitations. Like even big rings, I love wearing them, but then when I'm DJing, it annoys me, and then I can't. So I have to be comfortable, and I have to feel that I can have a lot of movement, and I have to see what I'm doing. I wear glasses, but I have to wear contact lenses, but then I can't really see properly many times. So,
Mm.
but you know what? It's all a challenge, and I just run with it, and I try to enjoy all of it. I think if you can enjoy everything as if it was the first time,
Yeah.
and if you were a child, and if you can just enjoy it as a child and just play with it, I think life will reward you with what you are seeking, if you can just stay in that zone. So I just try to be very playful, and I like to have lots of different looks and pictures of
Yeah.
me that people can use. I find it very boring when you see the same image of the person for the next 10 years. So every year I do all these photo shoots. And when I did my first photo shoot a decade ago, I was so uncomfortable in the camera. I did not know how to look at the camera. I didn't know what clothes to wear. I had no idea what angles, how to hold myself. And I have learned so much in this journey.
Yeah.
about
So
what I look like, what when I'm wearing different clothes, what it brings out of my personality, you know, many things. It's been such a joyful experience, and I'm hoping that in the next 10 years that I can even grow even more flamboyant and creative in what I'm doing, you know.
for all the people who think DJing life is very glamorous and enjoyable, I hope you got the answer from Faiza. You should see what all we go through. I mean,
Yeah, I
in
think
terms
as
of
well, most people
dressing, in
don't
terms of being on
realize.
stage. Yeah.
And sleep deprived, we're all very sleep deprived, and you know,
Yes. Yes.
sleep is the most
Very
important
crucial.
thing. I would say most DJs give up their health for
Yes.
their career, you know, not just
Exactly.
DJs. I mean, look at a tennis star.
Hmm.
If you're a number one tennis player, you know that when you're 40 or 45, maybe you're going to have arthritis, you're going to have body pain for the rest of your life. You're probably going to have knee replacement. You're going to have many joint problems. You're going to sacrifice your health for your career. And I think many people don't realize that when you're number one in anything, or
Yeah.
you're in the top,
Your personal life
you
has gone away.
yeah, I mean, you know, people sacrifice family time. I mean, they sacrifice their health and their well-being. Okay, maybe many people sacrifice it for the wrong reasons. You know, maybe it's not coming from their heartful space. Maybe it's also coming from the ego or whatever. But you also you're involved, and your accessibility to very high energy also means that when you go to your room after, you know, you've just been on a stage in front of 50,000 people, and you feel like you're on top of the world, and then you go to
Mm.
your empty room, or a room full of 30 people who all are fawning over you because you're this star. And when they leave and you're alone with yourself, that you can really be like a downer, you know. So I think is, you know, it's such a play of energies. You're so loved, and then you just left. You're like, oh, actually, I feel many times it's like a boxer. I feel like I'm a boxer in a ring, and in the with the adrenaline and everything there in the match, you're fully present, and you can win, or whether you win or lose. But when you're in the shower and the adrenaline's gone, and you can feel your body pains, and you're bleeding, and you're broken, and you have to come back to yourself and then restore yourself. I feel like many times that's what DJs do, because we are like sometimes battered at the end of it. We haven't slept for days, we've traveled here, there, and whatever, you know, depending on your schedule. So I think it's, most people see it as a very glamorous job, but you do sacrifice family
Yeah.
time, you do give away your health. And for me
Yes.
personally, I had to make really big decisions about 8 years ago, when my health actually was not good, and I really mentally was exhausted and physically absolutely drained, because I was just
Mm.
too successful and I was doing too much.
Right.
And I had to make a real strong decision to say, okay, I was doing 100 gigs. I cannot do it anymore. I do not want to do it anymore. So I had to limit my gigs to 50. I was like, that's it. I can
Oh.
do 50 gigs. I can do them with every bit of sincerity that I have. I'm not faking it. I'm not exhausted. I'm not killing myself in the process, because I'm not somebody.
Mm.
I have to do something really sincerely. I find it very hard to do something I don't want to do.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to be a robot. I don't want to play what I played yesterday today. I can't do that. That I can't live with myself. You know, it's about my
Yeah.
integrity. So I had to
Yeah.
make that really at the peak of my career. I had to say, what's more important to me, to carry on and now do 150 gigs and become more famous and more successful and kill myself, or actually own my own reality, own my own health and what's important to me, and be really sincere with everybody. I realized I hadn't been to an after party for maybe 4 years, because I just had to go
Oh.
home to sleep for half an hour or catch a flight. And
That's
people stopped asking me. Like, people in the end wouldn't even ask me to an after party, because they know I would always be like, no, 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 guys, I've got half an hour. I've just got to take a shower and I've got to catch the next flight. I've got to go to wherever tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's not okay, because I stopped enjoying myself and really connecting with people. And
Yeah.
it also wasn't good for my health. So I made a really clear decision, and I see a lot of DJs really draining themselves, you
Yes.
know, and I've said to many DJs over the years that, you know, there's no price on your health and your mental well-being, you know.
Yes.
So I
Very
had
true.
to take that for myself, and it's for other people to respect themselves and what their priorities are. But you can get caught up in a real loop of endless parties. Even today, if I go to somebody's house, they'll be like, "Ma, could you play Karuna? Put the music." I'm like, dude, if I was a hairdresser and I'd come to your party, you're going to ask me to cut your fucking hair. So they do it with love. It's about honoring you. Please honor us because we're honoring you. And it's very touching, but it means
Yeah.
there's no end to it.
Yeah.
So you have to really dig deep into your own self-respect to say,
Yeah.
okay, I'm being paid a shitload of money and I can make even more money, but what are my priorities right now? So for me, that really gave me a lot of power, because I realized I had got into a loop of wanting to be world's #1 DJ and wanting to do. I had a statement to people, which was, if I can get to a gig, I will play there. So I'll play Japan on Saturday, I'll play Los Angeles on Sunday, I'll do Mexico on Monday. If I can fly there, I will play there. Now, I don't think like that anymore, because that will kill you. It's going to kill
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
you know, and it did. I was really poisoned by, it was just endless. It was like a consecutive loop. I used to wake up in the middle of the night and I had no idea where I was. And I used to wake up in a panic, and the alarm would be ringing on my phone at some weird time. And I'd be like, okay, where am I? Why am I waking up? Why? What am I doing? You know, am I catching a flight? Am I DJ? Well, why am I here? Well, and that's not a good way to live.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know you know,
Very true. Very
because we've
true.
all been there. So I think it's about a fine line between what is success. Success is actually about how I feel about myself, not about what other people feel about me. And
True.
I've gone way beyond what I could ever have dreamed and never did dream. So
Mm.
everything has been a gift. So I kind of took a back seat on my career and said, you know what, I could go all out right now and I could probably do 200 gigs a year, but I don't want to do that. That's not a healthy
Yeah.
way to live, you know?
Correct. Very well.
I think a
Very
lot of
well.
DJs, a lot of people don't realize that. They don't see the back end of the work, you know. And also, you might really love music before you start DJing, but I see, you know, I used to even sleep with music on a very low volume, and I used to have music playing all the time in the background. But I would say in my life today that I listen to very little music in the background, because there's so much music going on. I'm DJing, there's so much noise, there's so many frequencies that I actually need a lot more silence than I ever did. And that also, you know, music was it was like the flowing in my veins. And maybe it is, but I've just overconsumed it, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. Is that the same for you? Do you have a lot more silence than maybe
Yeah.
20 years
Yeah. I try and listen more of chilled out music when
ago?
I'm not DJing, so that keeps me calm. And I try to listen to various styles of music, so that helps
Because
me
we can
to.
learn from everything, can't we? Or
Yeah, I
lots of
will
different
never
styles.
listen to DJ music when I'm at home or when I'm driving car. I try and listen more ambient, like whatever sets you make, and a lot of other different style. Also, try and listen more of Indian classical. All that I just love that. So it gives you a total different boost.
Yeah, it can heal your soul, you know, bring you back to the essence of why you're doing what you're doing, you know. Sometimes we can just really lose track of what's happening in our own lives as we get carried away with this wave of success, you know. You know, I think it's really important to just reflect and say, is this really what I want? You know, there's so many different versions of success. And for me, it's about being comfortable with who you are, you know. Success isn't about how much money you have in the bank or how many followers you have. It's about your integrity and how you feel about yourself, I think. And it's a hard message to live, you know.
Yeah. So Ma, I'm going to skip off a lot of questions because
I'm
we are
so
running out of time.
sorry.
That's okay. But one question before we go to the next section, this very important question, which I
Sure.
personally want to know. Ma, when you speak, you're so gentle. And when you move, you're so, smooth. Okay. But when you get onto the console, what happens to you? Does any spirit come on you? You turn into a wicked performer and you're something else. Can you tell
I
a bit
think it's
about
the child in me. I look at pictures of me just 5 years old and I have the same expressions on my face. So I think up there, I mean, I'm very much a child in my life. You know, if you come to my home, it's, you know, a child lives there and the only child there is me. Swings and colors and just very, yeah, yeah, I'm a child. I'm 50 and I'm still a child. So I think up there on the stage, I know I can be quite demonic as well. Like I can really, but it's just my child.
No, no, your body language, I can make out every single beat from your body language because
Yeah.
the way you move, it's that way I connect very well actually. That's a
I
very
think most
good,
people do. I
yeah,
don't know why I do that. It's just something when I'm moving and I'm doing, I put everything into it
yeah,
and I feel like I'm
yeah,
in the music. And then
yeah,
many times, most people don't know this, but many times I play tracks that I have not even heard once fully through. I just already know that I like the track. When you listen to 5 million tracks in your life, I can
yeah,
listen to 5 notes and say yes or no. And
yeah,
maybe there might be some melody that comes in that I'm like, oh, that just killed that track. I don't like it. It's suddenly not nice. But it's very rare. So I even you can play one note of a tune that I know, and I'll be like, yeah, that's that tune. So I have a very great memory box in my head. So for me, when I'm performing, I try to play tracks that I've actually never heard fully through. So I don't even know, and I'm playing MP3s. I'm not playing WAVs, and I do not use record box. So I don't even get a waveform. I don't know where the breakdowns are. I don't know where anything is. I don't know where the track's going. I don't know how it ends. I don't know how it began. I don't know anything. So when I'm
I
up
mean,
there,
you purposely do that
yeah,
while
because
processing it.
yeah, I purposely do that because I find it very boring to play tracks that I already know. I might have
Yeah,
certain tracks that I always play, but they're tracks that link me to from say techno to psychedelic. So I tend to play these few tracks that can take me there because they're bridges. And without those tracks, it's very hard to go from this style of music to that. But other than that, and even sometimes I force myself not to play those. Um, so for me, the spontaneous, being present in the moment, the challenge. So when I'm up there doing all that, I'm so fucking excited because I don't know what's happening next. I don't know. I'm doing, and I've got an
yeah.
echo, and I'm thinking it's about to drop. I'm thinking, but okay, it doesn't drop. So a bit more, bit more, bit more. And then I let go of it and it was the right time. And then I'm like, and it's real because I am so happy with myself because you don't know, well, you do now, but you don't
Yeah,
know that I don't even know that track.
yeah,
Basically, it's a challenge. So I don't prepare anything. I like to be spontaneous. I don't pre-mix. In between playing one track and another, I've got maybe 4 minutes to find a track, which I have no idea which track, and I don't even know the tracks. So I'm going to flick through about 10 tracks and I'm going to put effects on the track while I'm doing that of the track that I also don't know, but that's currently playing out. And then I have to find a cue point, which I do not set. I don't have any cue points. I'll find a cue point, and then once I hear a track and I'm like, yeah, that's the track. I don't question it. If I'm like, oh, I don't know, let me just see if I find another one. So I am the most random, unprepared, spontaneous, be in the moment DJ. I go with 7,000 tracks on my USB stick, and I pray God is on my side.
seriously.
Yeah, you can, and I
So
see
nice
this.
to,
So, for example, Kamlesh, my assistant, he's with me when I'm in the office, he's with me at the gigs,
yeah,
and he
yeah,
only knows, he's the only one who knows how unprepared I am. And I see him at the end of the night, like sometimes we're like, okay, today I'm taking all this new music and I am not playing one track that I have ever played before. And he has seen me put together these 100 tracks in a folder, and I've listened to click, 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 yeah, click, 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 yeah, I've done that. I've not heard those tracks. And then he's watched me perform a 3-hour set, knowing full well I don't know any of that music. And I can see on the look on his face that he's the only one who knows exactly what I'm doing up there. And everybody else must think, I've practiced it, I know the BPMs, I've got cue points, I've got a waveform, I know those tracks, like I know my own heartbeat. None of that is true. And for me, that's where the magic is.
Heads off, heads off. Because if you can, without planned, if you can rock the show to this level, I'm getting scared of you now. If you plan and if you practice, I don't know what's going to happen to that show. You're going to blow it up.
Well, now I have no excuses, because now I have the equipment at home. I just bought the equipment during the lockdown, because otherwise I was like, I feel so unable to do anything. So I bought the equipment and I now have it at home. But you know what? I've not practiced or done anything. You know, what I did do, where I agree with what you're saying, is I put together this 5-hour mix called Heal the World, which is on SoundCloud, and it's 50 tracks at 100 BPM. I don't know if you've heard it. If you haven't, Swing, I know that if you listen to it, it will touch you immensely. And I worked on that mix for 2 weeks. And that's the only time in the last 25 years that I've worked on a mix and I knew what was playing every single track. Otherwise, never. Even if I go to a Sunburn or a Boom Festival, or it doesn't matter, I'm opening, Boom Festival, I opened to 80,000 people. I had no idea even of my first track. Sunburns, Supersonics, I might go with a folder of 50 tracks, but I still don't know what I'm going to play. So for me, if I know what I'm going to play, it is so fucking boring. I can't even participate in it. And I feel like I'm faking it. So for me, it's so important to keep that. That's my magic. That's the magic that keeps my joy. That's the magic that makes me go way beyond what I think is humanly possible. That's what excites me, that I still have it. That's what can produce all this magic on the stage. That's where the quality is. And I think if more people could bring that to every day of their life, to be present and to take a risk and to trust your own body of knowledge, that you can pull it off regardless of not knowing. You know, like I know that I could go take your DJ bag and go and play with your DJ bag, even though I don't know one track. And that's a real good quality to have, because that means it's about another sensibility, you know? And that's a powerful tool to have. And I know you could do that, because you play so many genres and you've played so often. Whereas I, on the other hand, don't play all these genres, and I don't actually play that often. I don't have the equipment at home. I didn't up until now. So I've got no way to practice. So, you know, you could do that from your body of experience, and I do it from mine. And I know you could take my DJ bag and fucking just play, because you've got that much experience. So we find how to get us to the same place, but in different ways, you know. But I think that is the single most important meaning of a DJ. It's the person who plays the right music at the right time for the right crowd at the right volume, you know, because sometimes music can be way too loud, you know, and that you overpower people, and actually it's a painful experience. All of those things in the right environment, you know, that's where something magical can happen, where, let's say, it's like a religious experience. It's a moment of a spiritual connection that is far greater than all of us.
So much of information we got through this show. I'm so happy. And
probably way too much information.
So we're going to cool things down, and I want to ask you some silly questions now to cool things off. So are you lazy?
I think I'm quite lazy, but I'm a real doer. I love doing things. I find it, my lesson in life is to just be. I'm a bit of a doer, but I think my general nature is I could be quite lazy.
So, do you know to cook?
Do I know how to cook?
Yeah.
I love cooking. I'm an incredible cook.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite thing is to go to other people's houses and cook for them in their kitchen with whatever ingredients they have, because
Wow.
then it really challenges me because I have to deal with whatever. I think it's what I mean. It's the same with the DJ. You know? I bring the same thing. I like to really challenge myself. Let's just throw myself in at the deep end, you know?
Yeah.
I find it very joyful. Like, I'm staying here with a friend of mine in Delhi, and last
Mm.
night I was like, okay, I'm going to cook. And he was like, oh, let me show you the kitchen. I was like, listen, I've already checked out your kitchen. I know where everything is. If I have a problem, I'll come to you. But I'll just go in there and cook. And I cooked an incredible meal with all the ingredients he had in the house. Many things maybe I needed and weren't there.
Mm.
But you know what? You make a mix and
Yeah.
you do it. So I love cooking. I love food. So definitely I love cooking.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite time pass?
Ooh. Reading. I
Uh,
love to read. I love reading. It's a very solitary, singular self experience where you don't need anybody. And I find books very nourishing. I mean, a great book. I use my own imagination. I really enjoy watching very challenging movies. You know, movies with great stories. I really appreciate storytelling. I think once again that comes back to the music, because we tell a
yes.
story with the music,
Yeah.
and we're always telling a story. So
Yeah.
storytelling is very powerful for me. um, so yeah, I would say that reading is something that I really enjoy, and I don't need anybody. You know, when you that's something for yourself. You know, no one can understand a book as you understood it, so it's a very personal experience.
So, your one wish as a DJ?
My one wish as a DJ, I would like people to have like an emotional feeling when they hear my story, you know, my soundscape, my expression. I think for me, I'd like them to be touched by it. So I think if there's one thing that I would like, that would be the single thing. I don't care if they're dancing, sleeping, laying, sitting. This is not the issue, but just that there's some emotional resonance, that it's something of that can enter their heart and touch them in whatever way.
That's really nice. So I'm going to skip off a lot of questions because it's already
Sorry.
alarm. All right. So
We are
one tip
having a
for
17-hour interview with Faiza.
so your one tip for upcoming DJs. Any tips for upcoming DJs?
Record
Your
every set. It's really,
okay.
really empowering, and you can hear what you're doing. That's my first, number one, most important advice. Secondly, pick a really good DJ name that is not your name. Who you want to be, what do you want to embody, what do you want to say to the world in your name? You have the chance to reinvent yourself. Do not be DJ Vicky, because there's another 100 DJ Vickies, okay? You need to
That's a
reinvent.
good tip. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really powerful tip. Number
Yeah.
three, play the music that you love. If you're happy playing multi-genres and that you really enjoy that, then fine. But if you are not, and you start to be a resident DJ playing many different genres that you do not like, it will eat your soul.
Yes. Very true. Very true.
If that's not your truth, then you have to take the longer road, which is to play the music that you love, even if there's no scene for that music that you love, and you need to create that scene. And it is your responsibility. If you want to play that music, you create that scene. And that's what you have to do. But if you're prepared to play everything, but that's not your truth, it's only a matter of time before you're very, very unhappy.
Yes. Very
Believe
well
in
said.
yourself and know that there is no shortcut to success. And when you do it the long way and you put in all the hard work of really sharing yourself totally and put yourself in it, I don't mean doing loads of homework, because that's also not who I am.
Yeah.
But if you really put yourself in it totally and sincerely, it's only a matter of time until you get the rewards that you deserve.
Yes, very well said. Very well said. I also heard you record all your sets of all your shows. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. And I have a huge body of music. So like if anybody comes to me and says, Ma, I need a set, I'm like, okay, I've got 2000. I see a lot of DJs who, when they want to promote themselves, they give a mix from 3 years ago because they're like, I haven't had time in the studio to put something together.
Hmm.
Like I said earlier, I've put this one mix, which is 5 hours, 50 tracks, that was prepared.
I'm really looking
Apart from
forward for that.
that, oh, please check it out. I think it's one of the finest in a long time, something that I'm so proud of, especially as I did it in a way that I feel very uncomfortable doing. I'm much more comfortable being very spontaneous. So it was really challenging. And the 5 hours, every single track, all different genres, every track is 100 BPM. It does not move from 100 BPM. And that's also very unusual for me, because I kind of, I start somewhere and then I go up. That's my
Yeah.
that's my nature. I get excited and I'm like, ooh, So I think DJs, the more they can listen to themselves and hear themselves, it's also extremely nourishing. You have a huge body of work of which to share. And, the person I listen to the most, when people ask me, what music do you listen to? I know this is going to sound very weird, but I just listen to myself.
That's a very good practice. Actually, you can correct all your mistakes and you can make your sets better.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's about that, but it's more about I feel myself and my resonance, and then I can understand myself a bit more, because in that moment I'm fully present. I'm not in my mind.
Yeah.
So and when I listen to it, I'm a bit more in my mind. So it gives me a chance to be able to maybe integrate new things that I did there without consciousness, or maybe say, oh, baby, you touched the filter 28 times on the trot and maybe you were a bit excited. Oh dear, But I would say to every DJ, do something and take a chance than doing nothing. If you feel like you want to push that button and do it and learn something from it, than saying, oh, well, I'll just play the track. I don't know how to use these, so I'm not going to do it. I would say just be playful with it. It's really important to enjoy what you do. If you're not enjoying it, what is the point? It's like having bad sex, and nobody likes bad sex.
Yeah. So that's amazing tips for all the upcoming DJs. I hope this will be helpful for you people. All right. So one last question before we sign out. Tell me
Sure.
what good and bad things happened to you during this lockdown.
Oh my God, good and bad things. I don't have a job. That's quite a bad thing.
Yeah,
uh,
that's for everyone.
Yeah, that's for everybody. I think I'm like no other. Where I'm feeling the pain of the universe, actually, and I've been also affected by the fear of people around me, which I'm not a very fearful person, so I don't quite have that same fear. But it's been very strange to watch it. I feel like I'm in a really bad movie, with maybe a surprise ending. So it's been a very surreal time. I don't know that I'm even at a point where I can even express, because we're still in it. I don't know, but I feel like it's one of the best times to reinvent yourself, to do stuff you've never done before. I'm sure all of us have never slept as much as we have currently slept. It's
Yeah.
been a very restorative time, and I think it's a time for more consciousness. I mean, the best thing that happened is that I had started doing intermittent fasting in December, and I lost 17 kilos so far.
Yeah, yeah, you lost a lot of weight.
Yeah. And that has just been a credible achievement, even being at home and still being able to. I did a very tough fasting where I only eat for 1 hour a day. And
Awesome.
if anyone knows me, I really fucking love my food. I know you love
Yeah,
your food too, Swing.
I'm
I
very
can
foodie.
see.
I'm
I
too foodie.
know. I know, and me too. And I put on 30 kilos,
Mm,
and I'm just trying to take that off. So I'm really, really proud of myself that even in this lockdown, when I was at home or surrounded with everything that I love, I was still able to just eat for the 1 hour a day. So that was something personally that I was really proud of. But I'm 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 really hoping that this time people can take it positively, because all of us are in the same boat. We all don't know the future. We all have maybe little fears or bigger fears, depending your age and what affects you. But if you can take it positively and use it as a time of contemplation and new ways of being, and you can bring that back to your work when and if it happens. And I'm also really impressed with people still being able to, via technology, be able to
right.
express themselves. Even, for example, with what you're doing, it's really
Yeah.
great. Putting
Yeah.
people out there, still having a connection and a voice, and still. So I
Yeah.
think it's a really beautiful time for new ways of
Yeah.
being. And we
Yeah.
have to see it as a gift. It's very unfortunate that people have died and that people are sick. It's very unfortunate that maybe many people will struggle financially. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think that we're all going to be better human beings after this experience. And if that's the case, then it was absolutely worth it.
That's an amazing message what you've given to all of us, and I'm sure everybody will try and implement in some way or the other. So that comes to an end of an amazing episode with Ma Faiza. We all enjoyed every bit. Ma, thank you so much. You took out so much of time, and you told every little bit of your life, and very openly, without hiding anything. And because a lot of DJs, they don't reveal, they try
I
and
know,
push
but then I
things.
think they need to be cool. And I've never been
Yeah,
cool. I'm just me. I'm not trying to be something I'm not. And I've never
yeah,
been a cool person. And I really believe in being honest. And I think only with
yeah,
honesty can you touch somebody, because we all know when something's fake. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's really important. I think it's my life's work to just really share who I am without an ego, just to be, just, yeah, just to express. So I think if more people were more honest, we'd all learn a lot more.
yeah. Yeah. So thank you so much once again, Mahfaiza, for coming on board and accepting my invitation and giving us all the information. I'm sure a lot of people will be happy to know so many things inside of you, and it was really great. So before I sign out, I would like to thank PIXADOO and C Clock and Rafi, who made the whole thing possible. He's been coordinating back end, and he made this thing happen. Thank you so much, Rafi, for all these things. And we will soon update our next talent who's coming on board. And please subscribe our channel for all the latest update what we put out. And like I said, thank you so much, Mafeza, once again. It was
Thank
really
you
a
very
pleasure
much
and
for,
honor.
yeah, well, for honoring me by choosing
Yeah,
me to be on your
no,
show. And I
you,
really appreciate just all the work that you've put in, and also
yeah,
what you're doing now just to keep connected to people. And
yeah.
thank you very much for giving me the platform to share myself very honestly and openly. And I hope everyone enjoys it. And you keep doing the good work too, Swing. A lot of respect for
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you so much. And hope to catch you very soon in your gig and get
Yeah, let's
part of
do
all the
that.
craziness once again.
Yes, let's do that. Thank you.
And
Yeah.
everybody, before I sign out, please check Mafeza's new set, as she told, is something very
Yes, Heal the
special.
World. five
Heal
hour
the
set
world.
on
And
SoundCloud,
right after this,
and
I'm going to go and check
downloadable.
it out.
It's downloadable for
Wow,
free, and
that's
there's a
really
track list.
amazing.
There's the track list as well.
That's really amazing. So everybody,
Yeah.
please check out and share as much as possible. And we all
Please.
love you, Mafeza. See you
Thank you.
soon and stay connected.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
Thank you.